Hello, settle in. It's IGN UK podcast number 291. My name's Gav Murphy, and today I'm joined by
Rory Powers
and
Luke Carmali.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
Good, thank you very much. Yeah, this is the first time we've had this arrangement of people, I think.
I think it is. I don't think we've ever done this magical thing. Rory and I are prohibited from being on it together.
I think that was a deliberate choice that we three have not been on the podcast together. But let's find out why.
Yeah, it could go really well.
We're looking forward to Gamescom at the moment. That's next week. We'll all go in. Like, they're actually shipping the entire UK office out to Germany.
Tilly isn't, because he hasn't played a video game in his life.
Well, all the good ones.
Despite
his...
out. I know.
Yeah.
The ones who, for legal reasons, are not allowed to travel internationally. Can't go. But, yeah.
I've never actually been to Gamescom. I've been to like 5 E3s, but never been to Gamescom.
So last year was my first... So this is Rory's first Gamescom as well. Yeah, no, last year was my first Gamescom and my first E3. Last year was a really, really good Gamescom. I've only done...
Well, I went there, so it must have been shit.
Well, obviously it was proper shit, but it was my... I do like Gamescom more than E3.
Because you get to play more, it's not just like...
But also because we have more to do, I think, and as a UK team. There's partly that. But also, as you say, they announce games at E3, but then they like making them playable at Gamescom, so the punters can get their hands on them, and then we can as well, yeah.
So we've actually put together a list of the stuff that hopefully we'll be getting our hands on. So we've picked some of our favourite ones.
Yeah.
Some of them are good, some of them not so good. Rory.
I knew you
This has changed a lot, by the way, since I've last saw it.
I put suggestions in the running order, and Rory just went a little bit rogue with them. But I'm going to kick off. Dark Souls 3, I hope, is going to be playable.
Yes.
It was behind closed doors.
I know.
E3, like
Kruger had a go on it, didn't he?
Well, no, I don't think he had a go on it. It was presented by Miyazaki, I think. I think this is like
he shit it.
Hopefully one of the first times that people are going to be able to get their hands on it. And I didn't get this. Like, it's a lot more of the same. I think that's what I've been getting from people. But at the same time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
People have said they can see evidence of like the Bloodborne inspiration in terms of the combat and how that's moved up. So just an update. How's your Bloodborne career going? The one that you said you would definitely finish.
Oh my gosh, being called out.
I don't think I said I would definitely finish it. I'm pretty sure it was you that said you would definitely finish it.
I said I would try to finish it. And
I didn't say I would definitely finish it. I said I would try to finish it.
You know what?
I think I actually listened to this podcast, and you were all fairly confident that you were going to obliterate.
I think we were a lot more committed than we are now.
At the time, I was burning through it. I wasn't getting stuck on the bits that everyone seemed to be getting stuck on. But hey, do you know what, Luke? Life happens, man.
Well, exactly.
A lot has happened since I started Bloodborne. Like, everything in my life's completely changed. I lived in a different place.
You did?
I had
hair's growing where it wasn't growing before.
I was hanging out with a different lady. Like, it's all changed, man.
Different day of the week, that means, basically.
And now it's Rocket League.
It's God.
It's just Rocket League.
I will confirm I will complete Rocket League to every capacity.
You know what? You've actually unlocked so many trophies for me on Rocket League. I have like 33%. Rory used my profile on PSN without telling me.
But no more, because Link Rory is in action, and I have flower exhausts, which is amazing. It's a rainbow beam. I just come shooting across like a unicorn. It's majestic.
So bringing it back to Dark Souls, which is where we began our jaunt.
Yeah.
Through the forests of Gamescom. I'm quite excited for it. I did like Bloodborne, and it's kind of now, basically I think that ship has sailed for me. I would like to get into Dark Souls 3. It's just, I just don't necessarily have the patience. I do, for me as well, one of the things I liked most about Bloodborne was the aesthetic, how Victorian and Gothic it was, whereas obviously Dark Souls isn't quite like that, it's more medieval. So I don't know. I'm intrigued, but I would not necessarily say it would have as much
So
interest.
let me drift a hypothetical towards you. Let's say
You've
that I had never...
You've got a notebook.
I
don't like this.
Don't judge the notebook. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, I had never played a Dark Souls game before in my life. Do you think this would be a game that I could pick up as a starting point into this franchise?
We haven't played it yet, mate, so I don't know.
But I mean, like, from what you've seen, like, is it the type of game that I could pick up? Because from what I've heard, it's just incredibly difficult to get into. And there's a lot of previous knowledge of the game mechanics that cross over.
Like, it's quite unforgiving, but at the same time, you're quite good at games, so I think you'd be all right.
See,
maybe have a bash of Bloodborne.
Well,
that's right. Yeah.
This is the twist with Rory, because he is good at games, but he's also like quite manic and excitable. And I imagine that I don't necessarily know if he'd have the strength to repeatedly bash his head against the same part. Yeah. But I think you'd probably be quite good. I mean, you like Zelda.
I love Zelda.
I don't know why that's relevant.
It's nothing.
He's got a sword.
Comes up on every podcast.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, you like Tetris, so you'd be good at Bloodborne. Yeah.
Let's skip forward. You've put 2 games here just so you can talk about Blizzard later.
No.
I'm vetoing that shit
No,
right
no,
now.
no, 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 no,
This,
no, no, no.
All in
this section
favor.
is called 9 games we want to see at
No,
Gamescom.
it's fine. I've got it sorted. See, I put 2 here because I couldn't quite decide because we don't really know a lot about either of them. But I'm going to say Scalebound is my first game.
Okay.
So Scalebound being the Platinum Games exclusive on Xbox One. I don't have an Xbox One at the moment, but I'm actively looking for a reason to buy one. And between this and Sea of Thieves,
Aside from hanging out with me,
obviously,
Of course.
because Rory has an Xbox. But between that and Sea of Thieves, this looks really good.
Yeah.
We don't actually know much about it, so all we have is that trailer from when it was announced, which was I think it was E3 last year. It might have been Gamescom.
Okay.
Where
It was
basically
amazing. It was really cool.
Platinum, dragons, and that's it. And they've said it's very difficult to anything they've done before. It's also not meant to be as hard as their previous games. So Bayonetta does have quite a steep learning curve.
Yeah.
This one apparently is very different. There's been suggestions that maybe it's a bit open worldy with dragons. You know me, you give me an open world RPG and I'm
all over.
I'm all over it like a person.
Yeah, I mean,
So I'd quite like to see that. But we actually, as I say, don't know anything about it. They've also teased there is multiplayer, but we don't know much about that.
That'd be cool.
So I would like to see that. But they've confirmed, I know, that and Crackdown for their conference. So Crackdown was the other one that I'm not allowed to talk about because it's...
well, if you want to talk about Crackdown, you can. But
no,
you don't get to
no,
talk about Blizzard
no,
shit then.
I'm going to talk about Blizzard stuff. So
So-
no, I'm fine. I'm saying... But yeah, I mean, are you guys excited for Scalebound?
Yeah, I am. I just don't know anything about it at the moment. So
well, that's
It's the
partly-
same kind of similar. I don't think there's been enough big time hype from to draw me in. I think if I probably watched looked at more information about the game, I'd probably be quite into it because it does sound like my kind
So
of thing.
you think if you did your research before coming to this podcast?
Yeah, I'd probably
Yeah,
give
so
it
what's
give a
the
crap.
notebook is just doodles of kids. It's like,
Well, there is
it's like,
there is a Triforce.
Gamescom.
This is when we had our Skype meeting the other day, and I was really
the
prepared. I
stakes?
brought a notebook. I wrote Gamescom with a little Triforce, and then immediately
Such a
that used up
space
all the
cadet.
ink in my pen. So I
used
couldn't
up all
write
the ink in
anything.
your pen.
So I couldn't write anything. I had to
And
get
you-
on my phone.
and you also use
type
my
it all.
highlighter because that is why the highlighter
Right.
on my desk
Well, I
is
had to
covered in
do
ink.
the Triforce.
Rory,
somehow.
what's
Yeah.
your first game?
I'm excited for Naruto Shippuden Ultimate
Shut
Ninja
up.
Storm 4. You gave me crap for this. I'm really excited about it. Gamescom will be the first time you can actually play the game. Now, this is going to be the last game in the series. I know you guys are big Naruto fans.
I don't
big
know
Naruto
anything
fans.
about
Yeah.
Naruto.
So
Go
I
on,
thought
just get
this would
through
be
this.
I thought this would be kind of fun. Okay, so this is the last game. So it's going to be finishing off the Naruto Shippuden television series, following that story. How many episodes do you think there have been of this show, Naruto
Millions.
Shippuden?
1,000.
421.
You son of a bitch! I was gonna be a game. It's gonna be a game. That's what you get. It's
a pretty shit game, in fairness.
It's gonna be. Oh
Guess
well,
a
game
number that
over.
Rory's
Game
written
over.
down.
Is it 421? Rory?
Okay, just why do you want to play this?
The game, it's beautiful. It's like the artwork
Just
is
why, in
the
general?
artwork is incredible.
What
The
kind of
game
game is
mechanics
it?
is so much fun. So it's a fighting game,
Right.
But it's kind of similar. So
What,
you have
like
like Mortal Kombat where it's on a
2D
2D frame,
yeah.
but this is it's kind of you're always locked onto your opponent, but it's in a 3D space.
It's easy then.
It's like having the ball mode toggled on Rocket League, kind of like that.
No, Rocket League.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Back to Rocket League. But
guys
it's really
are
cool,
worse.
and there's a lot of additions they're making to this game, like attention to detail. So
Yeah.
you have elemental damage, where if you get hit with a fireball after the attack, you have like cinders on your clothes, and just they have a lot of really cool things. All the characters from the series, it's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited.
I like that you like it.
Well, to give you an idea of just how hardcore Rory is going for this, I mean, the way we do it is we try and juggle it so all of us will see, a game. But so I've been assigned Naruto, and I'm going to see it on the first or second day of the show. And then, Rory has taken matters into his own hands and booked his own appointment to go
going
and see
rogue.
it on the final day. Just like, because he was just...
I'm gonna put on a Hidden Leaf Village headband and sneak around.
Maybe you
the,
guys can talk about it on the next podcast. I mean, I'll purposely not be on that one.
I will personally make sure I'm dead before that happens.
Cannot
but-
wait.
Luke, what's your next one?
So my next one, game number 4, is Final Fantasy 15. Now, we know that they are going to have a presence and they are going to show new stuff on their stage. I'm a big Final Fantasy apologist.
What?
And I make no apologies for my apologist status. But
It looks alright.
I'm getting to the stage where I'm like, right, stop dicking about. I want a release date, and I want it to come out. Because you've had years, you've been fiddling with it for however long, and it's just constantly you will see, my friends, it will come soon. I don't care.
That's my Game of Thrones mentality.
Yeah.
Just like, if winter's coming, bring it. Where are the goddamn dragons?
Yeah.
Like,
and that's kind of where I am with this now. I've seen it. We've all played the demo. We had a lovely time in the demo. That was a nice taster.
Yeah.
There's all these, and it still concerns me that there's mutterings about stuff going on behind the scenes and like development issues, how, bits were cut. And so I don't know. At this stage, I think it would do a lot of people feel better about themselves if they just lock down. Okay, it is coming out. Even if they were like, it's coming 2016. People are like, okay, well, at least then we know it's coming next year, or the second half of next year, or something like that.
Okay.
But there's still so much speculation because I've seen it, I've played it. I've played.
do you like the demo?
Yeah.
It looked pretty cool.
The demo was good, but I mean, for me, it's all about, the core systems I always like the core systems in any Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
For me, it's about the story and the settings. And I want to kind of explore the story of these characters who have been teased for the past,
the
10
J-pop band.
years. Yeah, literally. This game was announced when I was 13, and I'm old now, Rory. So it's kind of like...
17.
Yeah, exactly. Shut up. Well, how does that make Rory?
Almost spat tea everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, good luck to you, mate. 'Cause I couldn't give less of a shit.
Good.
But one game I do give a shit about is Rise of the Tomb Raider.
Okay.
Now, I'm really excited to see this and hopefully get to actually play it because I saw it at E3.
Yes.
And I absolutely love this sort of reboot of the Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it's really cool.
It's just so much fun. It just is perfect for like, next gen. I really like the story as well. Like it got a lot of like flack for her, going around basically killing everything that she saw. Pretty quickly.
How she quickly goes from being a pacifist to being like a mass murderer.
But I think the sort of survival aspect of it is something we don't really have. Like it really reminds me of like Uncharted games and stuff as well, where just like anything that can go wrong, definitely 100% will go wrong. So like, oh, I'm gonna climb up there. Well, I'm not scaling that wall, and every single brick is gonna fall away. But I don't know. It's just
cool.
really, really fun.
They made like a point of saying how much like the elements will be battling against you as well. So you'll have like wildlife and like snowstorms and things. And I think that'll work really well to bring you more into the game if you have to take those into consideration aside from just an army of guys with guns.
Yeah.
Because it was really also last year that we heard that it was announced and there was that whole, is it a Microsoft exclusive? Is it not? Whereas like now in the past couple of weeks, I think, because again, they don't want that, very much they've announced in the past week, it's coming to PS4 a year later and PC in early 2016.
Oh yeah, shit.
And I think they're doing that because they don't want everyone in Gamescom just to be like, so guys, what can you tell us? And they just be like, for the love of Christ, can we do an interview where it's actually about the game? So that's good.
I forgot about that.
What, that it's not exclusive anymore?
No, I just forgot that it's not coming to PlayStation until like a year after.
I know, that is a bit crap, innit?
I need to get an Xbox, don't I?
Well, this is the thing.
I definitely need to get an Xbox for Rory.
Halo goddamn 5. I am so excited. So recently I just played through the Master Chief Collection from like 1 to 4.
Good for you.
And I had never played the first 2 games before.
What?
So I actually missed out on it because I never had an Xbox. I started Xbox 360, so I never got a chance to play. Yeah, I was still in my little
diaper.
That's the one.
Today.
I was going to say I was still in my little training wheels. But that doesn't really make sense. So I got to play through that, which was really cool because I got a lot into the lore that I hadn't previously heard of before because I just came in at 3, where you're already kind of teaming up with the Covenant. You're not quite it's not like a huge battle. So, I mean, 5 just looks incredible. Like the way I'm kind of seeing it is this is kind of the Winter Soldier of the Halo series. So you have Master Chief.
Explain.
Well, you have Master Chief, and he's kind of this soldier who was created for a purpose.
During winter?
Literally, he's a soldier, and there's snow in the trailer.
Well, he's created for a purpose that doesn't really exist anymore. He's outdated. And even when he gets unfrozen in 4, people are just kind of along the vibes of, you don't really belong here anymore. You shouldn't be here. So, I mean, this is really cool. We're also seeing it from the point of view of Spartan Locke. Obviously, Master Chief in this game is being pitched of a bit of a traitor. He's working with Prometheans. Yeah. So, I don't know. I'm really excited.
I like that you're excited. That's good.
And obviously, Roy's excited about everything. Roy's excited about when he comes in and has like a cup of water in the morning.
But at least this excitement is channeled to somewhere that I'm interested to rather than Naruto. Speaking of excitement channeled to somewhere I'm not interested in, Luke.
Okay, so again, I've hedged my bets here. So Blizzard are having a press conference.
That's cool.
Which is exciting because they haven't done this. Well, no, because something is going to be announced, obviously.
What?
Hearthstone.
Well, no, because they've announced the Hearthstone expansion.
Right.
The tournament.
I do think that they will be, they'll give updates on all their titles, and I do like Heroes of the Storm a lot, and I do like Hearthstone.
I really want to play Hearthstone, but I don't really trust myself.
Well, Hearthstone's really good.
Yeah, me
I've been
too.
trying to get Rory into it, and
My phone's too old. I can't handle it.
I don't think that's true. I think the
Wait, you can
servers
play
are
on your
built-
phone?
You can play on your phone.
Can I?
Yeah, on your iOS.
You should have told him that.
Yeah,
I really want to play it because, look, I used to work in an office where a lot of people played it.
it is
and-
really good fun.
But it just looks... Have I missed it now? Is everyone going to be too good?
Not necessarily. I don't think so at all. I've played. I joined a bit late, and I took some time out from it because it's one of these things that you can just drop back into.
Right.
And they do have a good matchmaking system in the sense that you're always against people.
Can you play offline?
No.
No.
Is it like
See, I need a
Rocket
commute
League?
game.
Is it like Rocket League?
Yeah.
In the sense that it's a game.
Excellent.
But
Sweet.
yes. So otherwise.
And also, you're in cars. And also,
cards with a D.
He's like, oh yeah, sorry, there was the accent.
the stretch,
Yeah.
cards.
Yeah.
Balls.
What I'm kind of excited about with Blizzard is I think they'll announce lots of stuff that's good. They always do. But really, what I mean by this is, I reckon we might hear a World of Warcraft expansion because they have. Is that you?
It's not me.
It's a T-Rex. What is that?
I don't know. It's something
crazy.
It's just something bouncing. Oh, we're good now.
fudge was that?
I think it might be a World of Warcraft expansion because they've hit the last patch of the current one. So that might happen.
Yeah.
And then other than that, we also have... I'm still angling for more Diablo 3.
Did that happen?
I don't know. They've done one... They did Reaper of Souls, right?
Yeah.
But people still play Diablo 3. They still update it. And I think... Today, actually, it's been noticed. There is a trademark that's been registered called Council of Glades. So I don't know. That could be a Warcraft thing because there is a thing called the Council of Tirisfal, which is a thing. So I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I'm really excited because I've always wanted to go to BlizzCon, but in the same way that we have all of the states there, there's no way that I would
in
ever
Prague
get to
this
fly
year.
Prague?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, get over,
But
man.
this one,
Let's go.
This BlizzCon this year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's in Prague.
It's usually in Anaheim. But I'll check anyway.
No, this one is. I'm pretty sure it's in Prague.
If it's in Europe, the point being, I've always wanted to go to a BlizzCon, and I think this might be as close as I could get, unless it's in Prague, in which case I am so motherfudging there.
All right, Rory, your final game.
Quantum Break. Almost pronounced it wrong. Saved myself. It's awesome. So this is kind of. Do you guys know a bit about this game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one that's going to be tied to this TV series because it went so well for Defiance.
Yeah.
Actually, Defiance does all right though. It's actually pretty popular.
Is it?
Well, they keep making more of it, so I assume that it must be a little bit popular.
That's a bad.
I don't think the game is popular.
Or it's got like a millionaire just bankrolling it.
Bill Gates.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah,
I don't know.
So we saw gameplay at Gamescom last year, and it's very much just like a action shoot 'em up kind of game that's all about time manipulation. So you have multiple characters. One of them can see forward in time. Another one can slow time. I mean, from the trailer, it looks really cool. Like the only problem that I have with it is so the idea of like slowing time, freezing time. I think that's really cool. But then a lot of it was
Like Saved by the Bell.
Yeah. Time out. Time in. Maybe a little bit too. Maybe a bit before your time.
Dustin
Rory.
Diamond comes in. I love Saved by the Bell. How
Sounds
dare you,
wicked.
sir?
Yeah,
How
but you
dare
watched Saved by the Bell the college years.
Yeah.
It's not the same
when
thing.
they were
right?
down at the beach and everything. Yeah.
Oh God, that one.
Just awful.
Anyway, Quantum Break.
Yeah, Quantum Break. There seems to be a little bit of like world manipulation. So when grenades go off and the map is a bit distorted and things like
Okay.
that,
Like
is
you
that
kind of
too
freeze-
much?
Like you can kind of freeze explosions and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like
but I mean, because I saw when it was frozen, so there was like a truck kind of crashed and it was frozen. I was like, this is really cool.
Yeah.
There's items frozen, you can kind of pan around them. But then, as I said, when you're kind of shooting people and explosions are happening,
Yeah.
like the ground like warps
Yeah,
and
I
kind
really
of.
like it. It looks cool.
You like it?
You
I don't know
like
if that's
it.
like too much because I really like the look of just the frozen time.
Yeah.
But then adding this weird like glitch world on top of it, it's almost kind of like Devil May Cry when they added on that I forget what it was called, but it's like the weird dark world.
Yeah.
And that was really cool, but because it was its own thing, you're kind of combining this bullet time with this distorted world. So
I just really hope that
could
in terms
work.
of the TV show, because I know the TV show is going to be about like the evil organization, and then you
Right.
are kind of like the hero in the game.
yeah,
So
it's like time experiments.
Exactly. So it's kind of
Gone
like
wrong.
if it links up well, that could be cool. But I hope in that, because often in these scenarios in the UK and other places, we get a bit shafted in terms of how to access the TV show.
Right,
so unless you stay up and watch it on Sci-Fi at like 11:30 on a Sunday, you're not going to see it. So I just hope that, hopefully Microsoft will have the sense to distribute it through Xbox Live in the UK.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we ever got to the point where it's kind of like Marvel's movies and TV shows interacting. If we ever had like a TV show and a game interacting in that same way, like someone dies in the show.
Though.
Dies. But I mean, like, they're all kind of maybe not. Maybe not. They're just like one-off mentions, like, oh, the Avengers are in town. It's like, shall we go see them? Anyone can say
not.
that.
I can't. I don't have the energy for that. I have enough cross-media.
I like the bit in the Gamescom footage last year where the man froze time, then he ran up and punched him in the face. I thought it looked really good.
So I am actually a huge fan.
That's what I got to say on Quantum Break.
I'm a huge fan of. It was a Matrix game that came out. I don't think it reviewed very well, but it's called The Path of Neo, and it was very much like slow mo, like 300 style fighting. Like the camera would do like slow mo and then punch. And I kind of got a vibe from this game, which I'm totally for. I'm a sucker for bullet time. I love that kind of slow mo.
Which was the Matrix game that was on like just
Enter the Matrix was on PlayStation 2. That was a bit weird.
PC.
I quite like that. Yeah. I was also really excited for the Matrix Online, and then that just kind of didn't really work out for them.
Enter the Matrix came out when I was doing my A-levels, so I think I liked it just by virtue of I wasn't studying for my A-levels. But it was like such a broken game on PC. Like I remember there was this one car bit where I just didn't do anything. And it was just you couldn't do anything, so it just happened, and I just watched.
I remember that,
and it was just like,
and that's like it's like the second level as well. Well, Path of Neo, I thought it was going to follow along like the second and third Matrix films. At one point, it gets so far from the narrative. You are playing as Neo in an alternate dimension, fighting giant grasshoppers with fire sticks.
like Matrix 2.
Yeah,
like that bit in the Matrix 2.
Exactly. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it was
Niobe. Niobe was cool.
Okay, well, my last game then is Lego Dimensions, and it was genuinely one of the best things I saw at E3. How am I nerd? More immature, more childish. It's just a really, really cool game. Like, I'm not into. I probably will never buy it.
I was gonna say,
but like, because it's too much. It's too much to buy.
I can't like. I've always wanted to get into the Toys to Life thing. But no, because...
But this is Lego and you could actually build stuff.
If it was Lego Bionicles Dimensions, we'd be in trouble, because...
Why? Why Bionicles? Bionicles shit.
I used to love Bionicles.
Best.
You can change their masks and swords.
And I used to buy all the little mask packs.
Yeah. The cool thing about Lego Dimensions is like, I had like, you get the actual little like car thing. So I had like the Batmobile, but I needed to get through a little bit, like this wall. So to be able to do that, I had to go to the Batmobile's like second build. But not only have you got to unlock in the game, you've actually got to build it and take bits off out of the actual car.
See, that's cool. They
have really
the licenses they've managed to get hold of.
Everything.
Are absolutely
anything that's ever been made out of Lego, they've got. There was a bit where you can call in like special moves and stuff. I needed to get through this wall, and I called in Homer Simpson, who came in like a wrecking ball and smashed through the thing. It's really, really good.
I thought you were gonna say like one of the things you call in is like help from dad, and then like a giant dad is like, "Put this here, son," and then like that's how you help build things.
No,
but that was just me apparently.
Nope. Lego haven't got the license to your old man, unfortunately.
Not yet.
It's up for grabs. Yeah. Anyone's interested.
Mr. Powers.
Give you a good deal on it. Mr.
Actually, the picture I saw of your dad, like he'd be an amazing Lego character.
He's just Santa. He just looks like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Have you not seen him?
I don't think I've seen your dad.
No,
I've seen your sister.
Oh, come on. So those are the games that we really want to play at Gamescom. Hopefully we will get to play them. And I think we're thinking about doing like a podcast special out at Gamescom. So you'll find out if we get to play any of those.
Of course, I should
week.
just make it clear, we have had this ambition to do podcast specials at trade shows before.
This is happening. It's definitely happening now. Yeah.
We're the law.
With a
You need to stop referring to yourself as the law. That's not a thing.
I can't. I've watched too much video game in high school. I am the law.
So hopefully we'll get to do that at Gamescom anyway. But also this week we spoke to a man called Josh Gad, who you might know as Olaf from Frozen, although he does other stuff as well, but mostly Olaf from Frozen. And he is in a new film called Pixels, which didn't review particularly well on our site or anywhere really, but it's got video games in it.
Yes.
And he's a really, really interesting dude, like really, really funny.
He was really funny, yeah.
And he does a really, really good impression of
Is it someone from the Goonies?
Mama Fratelli from the Goonies.
It's amazing.
So we're going to listen and watch a little tiny bit of that right now.
Hello, Chris here with Gav and star of Stage and Screen, Mr. Josh Gad, who you guys will know from Frozen, The Wedding Ringer, Jobs, The Book of Mormon, The Comedians, and new film Pixels.
Which is represented so beautifully.
Yeah, it's behind
Here.
us.
Did you paint all this?
I did it this morning.
It's incredible.
Yeah, he
It took
took ages.
ages.
It's amazing.
Like I didn't get any paint on my hands or anything.
Well, you got a little bit apparently all over that.
yeah, except
arm.
for that, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe the perfect movie for IGN because it fuses video games and film.
We actually made it for IGN.
We
So
appreciate
nice.
it.
It's a small demographic, but
It's not small, actually.
No, it's true.
Million.
Just the people who work here. It's a small
Sure.
demographic.
Okay, just
your
the-
fans are in the millions, but
Yeah.
no, it does. It's sort of that movie that it not only feeds into that love for gaming, but it feeds on that '80s nostalgia that I think so many of us. I assume you guys
Yeah.
grew up when I did.
Yeah.
It embraces that, and I think that's what's so fun about it. And Chris Columbus, who is the author of two of my favorite '80s movies of all time, Gremlins and Goonies, and of course the mastermind behind Mrs. Doubtfire, Home Alone, and the first two Harry Potter films. He's at the helm, and he brings that joy to it that I think translates really nicely to the screen.
Yeah.
Did you get to geek out with him?
I did. I asked him some. Goonies is, anybody who knows me knows it's my favorite movie ever, unapologetically. And so, a lot of questions about Goonies, Adventures in Babysitting. Just ran the gamut with questions for him.
Yeah.
I just loved working with him. Yeah.
If they ever do make that Goonies sequel, did you give him a little nudge?
Yeah.
But to play Chunk.
Well, no, not to play Chunk, just to play like
Or
whoever.
Sloth. What are you suggesting at this point?
Like a Fratelli nephew, maybe.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
that'd be really
Maybe
good.
like
Cousin Fratelli.
Cousin Fratelli.
Yeah.
I actually do a really mean impression of Mama Fratelli.
Oh, hello.
Hey, I actually do a really good impression of her from Throw Mama from the Train.
Okay.
Owen, come here, Owen. I don't know if it's a really good impression, but it's
She scared me with the
Get
fingers.
stuck.
The fingers in the blender line. That really
It's terrifying.
frightened
That
me.
entire bit is really, really
Yeah.
scary. Like, I showed
But
Goonies
what
to
about
someone.
like when she's like telling Sloth how she dropped him as a baby?
Yeah.
Mama love you. Mama drop you.
So horrible.
Mama drop you on baby.
Yeah.
Mama love you so much.
You're
dog.
scaring me a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's pretty good.
That was
That's
pretty
good.
good.
A
I
good
should-
Mama Fratelli.
I showed Goonies to someone the other day who didn't see it when they were a kid, and they're watching it now. And like, when you watch it now, you're thinking like, how did my parents let me watch this? There's
Oh,
a lot
it's
of weird
really
stuff in it.
sadistic and weird,
Yeah.
but all of those PG-13
Yeah.
Amblin movies were a little dark, and
Yeah.
I mean, we're the generation that grew up with Dark Crystal and Labyrinth.
Yeah.
This is stuff that nightmares are made of.
Yeah.
If I were caught showing my daughter Dark Crystal, my wife would leave me. Like, she'd be like, "What are you doing? You're going to traumatize."
Yeah.
And I think that there was just more acceptance back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of moments in this movie that hark to that a little bit. Like there's a moment with Pac-Man that's kind of funny and then goes dark.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I like about this movie is it's PG-13 and it's sort of like those old school Amblin films where it doesn't pander to the kids. It goes a little dark and weird at times. I mean, Peter Dinklage's character suggests killing Hubert at one point.
Yeah.
And, there's a lot of fun in it. You
Yeah.
know, it's definitely not going to win any Academy Awards, but it is no holds barred, just like goofy fun. And the 3D, which a lot of times is an afterthought. Chris, I think, did an amazing job of, visually creating a world that deserves to be seen in 3D.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so good.
I don't know if it's a darkness, but there's certainly a weirdness to the romance that your character.
Oh, it's the most sadistic. I don't want to spoil the ending, but when they pitch it
yeah.
to me, I'm like, this has got to be the weirdest ending of all
Yeah.
time, at least since like Weird Science, and probably even deeper and stranger in terms of the weirdness factor. We really want to do this? Yeah, all right.
But I think you can say maybe who your character has a crush on.
Yes, Lady Lisa, played by Ashley Benson, which makes sense.
Sure.
Yeah.
She's hot,
It's beautiful.
and pixelated or not, she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And he sort of has forever been in love with her. He actually writes a book about it, comic book, and
It's a beautiful little book.
it is a beautiful book.
Yeah.
I think they should sell it actually. So he falls in love with her, but the ending gets a little sadistic and weird.
It does seem weird. So are you a gamer?
I love games. Was a gamer, and then I had my oldest daughter Ava, and I made a promise that I was gonna sort of retire the
To
console.
her as a baby.
While she was in utero, I looked at my wife's stomach and I said, "Baby, I'm giving this up for you, little girl who can't see anything." No, I just sort of like, I wanted to be a hands-on dad, and I didn't want to have that going on in front of her. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I just got a PlayStation 4 though the other day. I haven't told my wife yet. And I have a nice 4K TV, so times are gonna change.
Yeah.
Figure I gave both kids at least 4 years.
Yeah, that's enough time.
Yeah.
That's more than enough.
Yeah.
I'd say.
They'll do all right after.
I love games, but I sort of get lost. Like when I play any of the Arkham games, I need like a GPS, like a really good GPS navigation system, because I just wind up spending half the time walking through the streets of Gotham asking for directions. Like there's no rhyme or reason to any of it. I'm just like, do you know how to get to the asylum? I gotta go find the Joker.
That's the thing. Those are big games as well. So
the
if you
open
get
world
lost,
games, like Call of Duty's more my jam, because it's a mission. You're sort of like propelled forward through the world. But when it's an open world game, I just sort of get like trapped.
This film harks back to a simpler time in gaming, when you've got the retro games. The setup is them kind of invading the planet. Do you have a favourite of those retro games, or do you find them all as frustrating as I do nowadays? And I just can't.
I love the simplicity of Pac-Man. I love Galaga. Even though it's not a retro, although it is a retro old game, but not an arcade game. Tetris, right? But
I think Tetris is the greatest game ever.
I think Tetris is pretty. I mean, before there was Candy Crush or any of that, there was Tetris, and Tetris is. I do believe it can infinitely go. I mean, it's just the most incredible. It's so simple, but it's just great, and actually great mind stimulation. Or at least I told myself that while I was avoiding math class and playing under the table with my Game Boy. But I was sort of the tail end of the arcade movement. I was born in '81. My brothers, I sort of lived through their eyes. There was this great arcade called Grand Prix Racerama, which was close to us, which we used to go to, and I used to watch my brothers at Hollywood, Florida, home of Billy Mitchell, King of Kong.
Awesome.
Right? So that's where I'm from. And then I sort of, my jam was more Nintendo.
Yeah.
And the home console. And, those like Duck Hunt, Zelda, Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, the Tecmo Bowl. I don't know if you guys had that here. Stuff like that. Contra. Those were the games that I played.
Contra's so hard now. Have you tried to play that recently? I tried to play Contra 2. It's absolutely solid.
Is it?
Yeah.
There was actually a Goonies game, Goonies 2, that was on Nintendo. That was terrible.
Yeah.
It was so bad.
Every movie tie-in was terrible back then.
It's really bad.
There's a really horrible Friday the 13th one, which is just pretty much impossible to play.
Really?
Yeah. I've tried to play it. It's like a
Pixelated
NES
blood
game.
everywhere.
It's not even that really. And like Jason's just like a white blob
Yeah.
that walks around the screen.
Yeah,
That's disgusting.
But at the time we were all like, "These are the best guys. This is good as it's ever gonna get." Yeah.
That's so funny. I saw from your bio that you were from Hollywood, Florida, and I was thinking, where do I know that from? And I know it from the King of Kong.
Yeah.
Right.
Have you ever met Billy Mitchell?
I've never met Billy Mitchell. I've met Seth Gordon, who directed it, but I've never met Billy Mitchell.
It feels like
Steve
Wiebe
was actually in our film, had a little cameo.
Oh, cool.
So I met him, yeah.
How was that? I shook his hand once, and it was a big moment for me to meet Steve Wiebe.
It's really great. He's the hero.
He's a
he's
special
amazing.
guy. If you haven't seen King of Kong, you need to watch
The
it
best.
now.
Yeah.
But I feel like Billy Mitchell kind of casts a shadow a little bit over, like, inspired maybe some of Peter Dinklage's performance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
There's some Mitchell in there.
definitely his hair's performance.
You're just missing the Stars and Stripes tie.
Yeah, there's that. I mean that hairdo is one for the ages.
Yeah.
Was it hard to keep a straight face though when you were talking to Dinklage and that? Like, he's just hysterical in that.
Yeah,
role.
he's so weird in it, and that voice. Hey, I was like, what is happening right now? It was amazing. Where I really geeked out was I was with him for the final 3 weeks of season 4 of Game of Thrones.
Oh, nice.
So I watched the final 3 episodes with him. That was a big ending with his dad and the show.
Yeah.
The show off, the send off, and I was. It was so weird to just be sitting across from Tyrion Lannister, watching him on TV, and one of those geek moments where I had so many questions, but I didn't want to ask questions because I didn't want to be the
cool.
jackass.
Yeah,
He's like,
that guy.
wait, what does this mean for your character and the future? of you inheriting the throne. It's unlikely at this point, I imagine. So that was really cool.
What is he like when he's watching Game of Thrones? Like, is he getting as into it as other people do?
I know he's actually
on his phone.
he's actually very much self-deprecating about it, and like I think he, like any of us, is always like, oh, I could have done that better, but he's coming at it from like a perspective of like, well, you know, oh, I wish I would have done this differently, but I mean, I think he appreciates the unbelievably large nature of what the show has become and how important it is to everybody.
Yeah, I guess so.
I want to ask you about London in this movie. Do you think that that's what we're all like? That if you tell us it's a beer commercial, we'll all be happy and run off?
I didn't write that. No. I've been shooting a movie here for 3 months, and I find you to be the loveliest people I've ever met.
No, we do like beer and pubs. We do, but I did have to laugh that was kind of the perception of the Brits. I'll just tell them it's a beer commercial, they'll be fine.
At least it's Sean Bean doing it. I mean, I think you buy anything that Sean Bean says. No, I've actually had the time of my life here. It's funny because a lot of times you get sent to places to shoot where you're like, I got to spend however many months here. It's going to kill me. With England, I can't wait to do something else here. I've truly had the time of my life.
Have you discovered the joys of Greg's Bakery?
No.
Because I saw there's a quote. There's a quote today from Jake Gyllenhaal saying that he loves being in London because he loves going to Greg's and eating a baguette from Greg's every day. Now you do not get a body like Jake Gyllenhaal.
I was going to say
eating a Greg's.
I was going to say Jake's got the body to pull that off. I do not have what you might call as good metabolism as Jake apparently. So. As efficient metabolism, so I will not be going to Greg's every day.
One thing I liked in the movie was you singing a song. Yeah. Was that your idea? Did they come to you with that?
They pitched me an idea about what I would be doing during that scene, and I was like, well, why don't we have me do like an 80s song? And, you know, Everybody Wants to Rule the World was on this list of like 30 songs that they gave me of what we could do. And I immediately was like, that has to be it. I mean, not only because it's a killer song, but just because the lyrics are everybody wants to rule the world.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer for this movie. It's high. It's a little high.
And a British band, keeping it.
Tears for Fears.
Theme. Your character is a conspiracy theorist in this film as well.
Yes, he
is.
What's
the most outlandish one? I'm trying to think that he hasn't.
He thinks Kennedy shot first.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Like Han Solo.
Just mixing up his worlds there.
Yeah.
That's a really good joke.
Yeah.
So, inspired by that, Gav, you had an idea,
Oh, Gav!
So, a bit of fun.
We've got a list of 5.
I'm worried that your arm is going to come to life. What is happening with those tattoos?
It's fine. They're okay. I can keep them under control.
Okay.
There's Bill Murray somewhere around there.
Yeah, Bill
Is
Murray.
there? You got Bill Murray?
Yeah.
Will you ever put a Josh Gad tattoo on your ass?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, that is Bill
We'll go
Murray.
for this. Yeah, it's Bill Murray in Life Aquatic. If I ever meet him, I don't know if I'd have the guts to show him. You met him the other day.
I met him last week.
You told him about my tattoo?
No, it didn't go well. It went
come
weird.
out.
It went weird.
You told him?
I just tried to have a conversation with him. He didn't want to talk to me. We did a picture and he made a funny joke at the end, but he was kind of a bit rude to me before that, and it made me feel sad because he's my favourite actor.
I know. I've had that before.
But you know what? Everyone asked him for a picture, so
Exactly,
I was that dude. I was like, oh,
how many times have you got to do that every
Yeah,
day?
he's the best.
Have you ever met him?
No, I've never met him. I wonder if those stories are true that he goes up to people,
I really hope they are.
puts his hands on their eyes, and then they turn around and he's like, no one will ever believe me. I hope it's true.
As he to end our conversation, he said to me, "Where are you from?" And I said, "London." And he just walked away and said, "Never heard of it."
That's
A
great.
little funny line.
Great.
Well, that's a good conspiracy theory about Bill Murray.
Yes,
but,
nice.
I don't know, thank you. Bring it back. So
Yes.
we've got a list of 5 famous conspiracy theories. 3 of them are true, 2 of them are false.
So they're not really conspiracy theories if they're true. They're what we call facts.
They are. I think you said they were believed to be true on 4chan.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, on 4chan.
Yeah, it's
Well,
not.
then
that they are.
everything on 4chan is legitimate. Okay,
Exactly,
go on.
yeah. Okay, so the first one then. Yoga is a form of satanic worship. So some Christians claim that by practicing yoga, people are actually being tricked into worshipping Satan and opening themselves up for satanic possession.
True.
That is true. That is
It's
a
true.
huge
I think
thing.
I've heard that before.
So that means the people of 4chan.
By the way,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
I'm
true.
on
to those listening at home, that's why I don't do yoga.
Number 2, Saddam Hussein was killed because he had access to a Stargate. Is it Stargate?
Stargate, yeah.
Okay, you spelled it wrong.
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein's real-life Stargate was the real reason for the Iraq invasion. It is widely believed that hidden in central Iraq is an actual Stargate, placed there by the Anunnaki gods, and that is the reason the Iraq War was started.
Okay, so you're asking me, is that true, or do people believe that to be true?
Do people believe that to be true?
Sure.
That is true.
Yeah, people believe that. I can see how Iraq isn't that old ancient Babylon? Like I can see how people think that's like
it's like a huge thing. So some of these the ones that are true, like are crazy true.
Right.
So like I watched a lot of mental videos yesterday about people who genuinely think this stuff, but like also not even presenting it as like, oh, this might be true. It's like, no, this is real.
This is fact.
This is 100% real.
There is a Stargate that Kurt Russell and Saddam Hussein have both gone through in Iraq. I buy it.
Okay, so this one then. The government secretly uses Call of Duty as a recruitment tool. For years, the government has been monitoring the best Call of Duty players in the world and has been known to draft in the best players using a loophole known as CODing. Is that true or false? Do people believe that?
Well, I know that the government actually does utilize game skills once they've been brought in, so I would imagine that people would buy that, yeah.
It's false, I made it up.
Really?
I made it up this morning on the bus.
Oh, wow.
But with the old, what do you call it? The unpiloted, unmanned...
Yeah?
Drones.
The drones.
Because I just watched a special that they actually do, like, a lot of the drone pilots, they actually do play a lot of those games for visual stimulation and eye coordination.
And of course, that was the plot of The Last Starfighter.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, I think that's the only one on your list that's legitimately true.
We're going to uncover
the others are all actual bullshit. That one is for real.
Okay.
Number 4, Taylor Swift is secretly lurking on 4chan. Some of 4chan and Reddit's best minds have uncovered the truth that Taylor Swift actually loves going on 4chan and messing with the users.
That makes me laugh to the point that I'm going to say true. I want it to be true.
True.
It's 100% true.
Is it true?
Yeah, that's believed.
It's great.
Maybe she does.
That's one that you should definitely look at because it's one that they were like, oh no, this is the evidence. Okay, this is the evidence.
I love it.
It's so mental.
I love it.
It's really, really good. Okay, final one. Adam Sandler predicted the death of Shirley Temple. So in a deleted scene included on the Russian DVD release of Grown Ups 2, Adam Sandler turns and looks directly into the camera in a rare break of character and says, "The light of our fairest little lady will go out on February 10th, 2014. True or false?
It seems so random. I'm going to say false.
It is false.
It's false. Gav made that up.
It's false. I made it up on the bus.
It was too weird, Gav.
That
was too
weird.
Yeah,
that was
the last one's always going to be weird.
Yeah. That one was was desperate.
It's genuinely hard to come up with
a
conspiracy theory
this
that's
one's
so
really
mental.
good, actually. The third one is really good
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that one actually seems the most legitimate.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense if you're really good
Yeah.
at some of these games, especially for hand-eye coordination purposes.
And you know what I'm going to say? It kind of ties it back to Pixels.
It does.
That's
because
right.
they recruit gamers.
They do.
That is why I like you so much in the podcast. No, they do. They recruit gamers who follow the patterns and know what's going to happen, what these arcade characters are.
Almost like I saw the film yesterday.
That's right.
Games
really
and Adam
on your
Sandler
mind.
was on my mind.
That's right.
Well done. You got
Give
3
away.
out of 5. Excellent.
I got 4 out of
I
5,
think
buddy.
4 out of 5.
Yeah.
I
4
think
out of 5.
I
Sorry.
was keeping count.
You defeated us. Can I take you back in time now?
You may not. Well, is it going to hurt?
No.
We'll go
Okay.
through Saddam
Yes.
Hussein's Stargate.
If it's through the Babylonian Stargate system, then I don't want to go. But if there's another way, like a DeLorean, then I'm happy to.
The Back to the Future cast was in London this week.
Celebrating
Everyone.
the 30th?
Yeah, like there was a convention and they did a bunch of press in preparation for the 30th for Back to the Future Day. But yeah, they had everyone apart from Biff, and that's my favourite film. So I got to meet Doc.
Back to the Future's in my top 3.
Got to meet Doc and Lorraine. It was like
Wait, was Michael here?
yeah, he was here last weekend.
Oh,
Yeah, he didn't do interviews, but
why
he did.
didn't Biff Tannen come?
Yeah, that's weird.
Don't know. He sent a video. I don't think there was anything weird.
Was
He sent a
Crispin
video.
Glover here?
No, they are. Although he's doing interviews here in a couple of weeks, but he said that he didn't feel like doing it.
Okay.
He talks about the movie now, but it's still weird for him.
Because of the second one.
Yeah, and
They
he
have
kind
somebody
of
on the edge of the stage
sued them
upside
and-
down. Just by his boots.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
It was very exciting though. But I want to
So
take
great.
you not
Yes,
that far back in
take me.
time. Book of Mormon. What was it like working with Matt and Trey on that?
One of the highlights of my career. I mean, I was involved in that process from the beginning. So 4 years before it ever saw a stage, we were workshopping it and being privy to their creative process and seeing something start in its most nascent stages and develop into one of the most successful musicals of all time. Forget about musical comedies. It was fascinating, especially with the content being what it was. I certainly, the first time they sent me a demo to gauge my interest, I called my agent and I said, I cannot do this. And they said, why? And I go, because I will be murdered by fanatics who see this and are like, this is the craziest, most inappropriate thing I've ever seen. There's no safety net. You're not an animated character. There's no screen between you and the audience.
Was that a genuine fear, though, do you think? It was.
Well, I think you forget now we sort of take for granted that Book of Mormon is just accepted, right? Yeah. It's just like, at the time, there were actually, we would get like, I remember when we were first going to Broadway, we had security briefings. We had like, there were articles written about how there were going to be picket lines around the corner, how nobody was going to, that there would be crazy. It was also around the time that Trey and Matt had like a fatwa put on their heads for South Park. So it was sort of a little disquieting, but the product was so good, the possibilities were so great that you sort of had to do it.
Yeah. I'm still debating whether to get tickets for my mum and dad. I loved it. I think it's the greatest show I've ever seen at the West End. But I still don't know if my mum can take it.
It's amazing how many people, though, who went in feeling that way came out of it being
absolutely loving it.
Absolutely in love with it.
Yeah. It's because it's got real heart to it.
It does, and it's actually
so genuine.
If you stick with it, it actually has a very, strangely enough, pro-faith message, doesn't it?
I think so, yeah, definitely. I think when I went in, I mean, I thought it was just going to be hilarious anyway, but I think I was surprised by how just not vicious it was on the Mormon faith, really. I mean, obviously, it like takes the piss quite a lot, but it doesn't, I don't know, it never feels like mean.
No,
it's not mean-spirited.
No, it's not mean-spirited, and they've just, they rode the line so brilliantly, I thought. And they never crossed that line, and it's I've had an opportunity now to work with, I think, three of the greatest satirists of all time, in Trey and Matt, of course, and Jon Stewart. And what they all do so brilliantly is they know how to just get away with, what you can get away with without ever pushing to the limit where you're like, it's too much for me to handle.
Yeah.
There were some very questionable things in that show, and somehow the audience just goes with it.
Yeah. Do you think we'll ever see a movie?
I certainly think there will be a movie eventually. I certainly do. I don't know when. I don't know in what incarnation. I don't know, what it'll be. But I think they'll do it.
Do you think it's something they could reasonably directly adapt, or do you think they'd have to change a lot to make that transition?
I think it would work either way, but I think that knowing Trey and Matt, they're not. I don't think there's any reason for them to just regurgitate what they've done before. Like, I think that they're always looking to keep fresh and do something different and try something new. So I don't think it'll be verbatim what you saw on the stage. No.
I hope it happens.
A lot of people do.
And obviously you're working on a musical right now. Can you talk to us a little bit about what's happening there?
Beauty and the Beast?
Yeah.
I can tell you that it's going to be just really amazing. Bill Condon is doing a remarkable job of bringing this world that we've all fallen in love with ever since the animated classic came out to life. And the cast that they've assembled, Emma Watson, Dan Stevens, Luke Evans, Sir Ian McKellen, Emma Thompson, Stanley Tucci, Ewan McGregor, the list goes on and on.
Amazing,
it's
insane.
A+ cast, and I think it's going to be really special.
Do you remember seeing that movie for the first time, the animated film?
I do. And I remember the audience erupting into applause after Be Our Guest.
Yeah. It was special because we'd had about a decade where we hadn't had great Disney. It had been...
Well, it started with Little Mermaid.
Sure.
And then
But that was more for girls, like certainly the age that
Right.
we were at. I didn't see Little Mermaid at the
the
cinema.
one that really resonated with me the most was Aladdin.
Sure.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, like Robin Williams' tour de force performance in
Yeah.
that was unlike anything I've ever seen. And I remember looking at the screen and saying, I want to do that one day.
Yeah.
And you know that's what really inspired me when I was doing Frozen. Is like that performance just seemed so fresh and so different and so wonderfully appropriate for that world and that comic relief.
Yeah.
And I wanted to sort of capture that, and I miss that man every day.
Yeah.
He's the greatest.
And you play LeFou? Is that
I do.
the
I play
name?
LeFou, and I have a big number in it, which I'm thrilled that I get to sing and dance on screen.
That's awesome.
It's great.
Yeah.
I've never done a live action musical before, so it's really, we got here about a month before shooting to rehearse all the singing and dancing, and it was like doing theater. I mean, it was really just fun.
Are you the best singer?
In the movie?
Yeah.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Your a lot of your scenes will be with Gaston.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Luke Evans, one of your countrymen.
Yeah,
Is
Welsh.
it
Welsh.
fun?
Yeah.
Is it fun playing off Luke?
Luke is gonna blow people away. I mean,
Awesome.
he's so funny in this movie,
Mm.
and killer pipes. Killer
Really?
pipes. Yeah.
It's because he's Welsh. He's from the valleys. Of course we have. We've all got that.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have played LeFou easily. So he's great. Yeah. Everybody's great.
Yeah.
And there was a famous picture I think that McKellen put up of your table read. What was that first table read like?
It was unlike anything I've ever been a part of before because it was just so epic. I mean, it was like you almost felt like it. All it was missing was an audience of like 7,000 because it was just full on. Usually a table read is a very intimate affair. You're all sitting there with your scripts. You're all engaging by virtue of hearing it out loud. But that's where it ends. This, we were seeing full performance numbers. We were seeing full pre-visualizations of some of these incredibly complex scenes, and it was unlike anything I've ever been a part of and probably will ever be a part of. It was just full on.
Man, I sometimes wish they would film those and put them on the DVD or something.
Who said they didn't?
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Sometimes they do. I think I watched a really good one for Forgetting Sarah Marshall that was awesome.
Yeah,
and that's a really
like a comedy.
It's really fun to watch.
Imagine if you could watch it for the classics though, like Godfather or Goodfellas table
Right,
read.
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, that'd be really good.
Pixels.
Yeah. Obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah.
Another film I want to ask you about, which is a bit weirder, is Angry Birds. Is that really a thing?
It's really a thing, and in fact, when I was approached by it, I actually said no, and for many reasons. But the most significant of which was I was like, I did Olaf. I don't really want to play another animated character, especially right now. And the producer was like, just let me kind of pitch out this movie to you, and did this reel for me of what he was thinking about. And it was like this 30-minute visual pitch. And it just blew my socks off. It's really irreverent and really like in that Lego movie sensibility.
Yeah.
It's subversive and funny and unexpectedly smart and really beautiful. Actually, like
Interesting.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
The little I've seen of it has really impressed me.
Is it a game you played on your phone?
I played Star Wars Angry Birds.
Yeah, of course.
Defeated it.
Are you a big Star Wars guy?
Huge.
How excited are you for Force Awakens, man?
11 out of 10.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, like, I've watched the behind the scenes video probably 20 times.
Oh man, yeah, that was amazing. We saw the trailer in a cinema, and I think I said to you afterwards, I was like, I don't know how I'm actually going to be able to watch the entire thing in the cinema.
It's funny, I'll tell you this, is I've, working in London now, a lot of the guys who worked on it are, like, geeky about it, and I was in a position, I don't want anyone to be sued or anything, but I was in a position where they were, like, willing to tell me things about the movie. and I had to shut them down because I was like, I don't want it spoiled. I want to go into that theater, and I'm like, not to mention the fact that I can't sit on that information. And I had one thing spoiled for me, and I was so angry because I'm like, it deprived me of.
You want to experience it like everybody else.
I want to experience it like everybody else, but.
It's a weird thing of doing our job sometimes, is that there's this thirst for information, that we're part of that machine. But I personally don't want to know a lot of the stuff, but people do, and it's...
I do. I have a problem sometimes when some of the sites spoil some big things.
Okay,
I know it has to be done, and I'm the first one to go and read the spoiler, even though there's warnings. But it's like, I almost feel like it would be better if it was just we didn't know, you know? But it's the age we live in. Everybody's after that story.
Yeah, I'm sitting there crying as I type it up.
Did you have you spoiled some Star Wars stuff?
No, not personally. I've managed to avoid reading anything that if it has appeared on our site. But you do. Gav does a weekly Star Wars show on the site, so I don't know how you can avoid stuff.
Just have to read everything, yeah.
But we choose not to spoil anything if we can help it.
I wouldn't want to talk about something that is going to spoil it for people, so I don't see some things. I'm just like, well,
speculate on stuff in the trailer.
But do you think that the movie's been spoiled for you in some ways?
No, I mean a couple of bits. I've heard like different bits and bobs, but I've managed to pretty much forget quite a lot of stuff because you hear so much stuff as well.
How great is that? Chewie, we're home.
Yeah.
Oh, and that smirk.
But I wish I could not see or hear anything between now and next Christmas.
It's not going to happen.
It's this Christmas Eve. I'm done.
I know this is sacrilegious, but I almost would be fine if there were no more trailers released.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Just had those two little, because the movie's apparently short.
Okay.
So I don't want that.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. No, didn't he say that? I thought I read that online.
Yeah.
Like it's not a 2.5 hour movie.
No,
which is good.
It's not like Lord of the Rings. So I'm like, every minute that I see on screen, I want to be completely new. I'm so excited, and I'm excited about the spin-offs.
Oh yeah, definitely. They're going to be really good.
Do you think, speaking of spin-offs, do you think we could ever see an Olaf spin-off?
You know what it comes down to is John Lasseter and his brain trust, who run Pixar and Disney, are very sensitive to making sure that it's coming from a place of character and story. So until there's a reason to do it, like Frozen 2 actually came about a lot quicker than I think any of us ever anticipated, because you look at the difference in time. There was 10 years before they made Finding Dory now, and 6-7 years before they made Toy Story 3, and I think that they tend to take a lot of time by virtue of the fact that they want to get it right. They know what the expectation is, especially for a movie like Frozen, where it just became a phenomenon. There's a lot of expectation there.
Huge as well.
So where are you at with the sequel? Is there a script, or is there?
They're just right now they're doing their thing of breaking down the story, and I'm sure that soon enough we'll know more, but they're keeping us in the dark.
What's it like though now, a couple of years removed from that all happening? Does it feel like a dream? Like it seemed like a very surreal thing to happen to a film that wasn't a huge amount.
It remains surreal. I mean, nobody saw it coming. It was not on anybody's most anticipated list. It was certainly, it was certainly not something I saw coming. And I went into a screening at Disney with no expectations whatsoever, other than I'm going to see a cute princess movie.
Yeah.
And I saw it with my wife, actually, and she looked at me and she goes, "Whoa, this is really, really special." And it was actually right after Do You Want to Build a Snowman that she said that to me. And you felt that. You were like, this just takes you back to those Disney fairy tale movies that you fell in love with.
Yeah.
Which they sort of hadn't traditionally done in a while. Tangled did, but...
When did you know, though, once it was out there, that the phenomenon that it had become? You might have had a feeling, but was there a moment when you were like, "Whoa, this is"?
Yes. It was. The movie came out in November, and by December, every store was out of merchandise. Every store was out of merchandise.
Yeah.
I couldn't get Olaf merchandise or princess merchandise, and I was in the movie. And then in January, after being out on Thanksgiving, it suddenly popped up to #1 on the charts. Like, that doesn't happen. So it just became very strange, and it was just like, it wasn't like Jurassic World, for instance, where it just boom, it was just a slow burn.
Yeah.
And it was really fascinating.
It snowballed.
I hate what you did there. I actually hate what you
So
did.
you said you've got kids. Do they watch Frozen? What do they think about it?
My oldest daughter does.
Yeah.
My youngest daughter still shits her diapers, so she doesn't.
She's probably not watching.
Can I say that? Can I say
Yeah,
diapers?
go for it.
So she doesn't know.
What's it like for her to watch it though? Like, obviously she knows it's you in the film.
She is so tickled by it. The first time I took her to see, the first movie I ever took her to see was Monsters University in the theater. She was 2 years old, and they showed. It was a little scary, but she did quite well. She loves Monsters Inc. That's why I took her. And cool. Thanks for making me seem like a bad
parent.
Thanks. They did the teaser trailer, and my character had no dialogue. He just laughed. She immediately recognized my laugh.
No way.
And she said, "Dada, more Dada," and it was crazy. I still can't comprehend it.
That's crazy.
That's really cute.
Yeah. So she's over it now. Now she's moved on to like Big Hero 6, Minions, things like that.
But she's gonna have that for the rest of her life. Be like, so what did your dad do? He's all laugh. Be like, what?
Yeah. She's gonna be like, he's Olaf, and also in Pixels. That's gonna be her. Just so over it all.
I was gonna ask, what's the craziest Frozen fan request you've had? Is there? Because it seems to have gotten to like quite an insane level. The fandom.
Crazy. It's crazy.
Is there really weird things you get asked to say or do?
Oh yeah, I was asked to like sing in summer at like a bar mitzvah or something. Like people ask really weird stuff. And
That's
like
gonna be my next question.
Cross I leave a lot of messages, especially for kids in need, who I feel like, maybe it can make a difference.
Yeah.
And even give them an escape for 1 minute.
Yeah.
And that joy is unlike anything else I've ever had as a performer, is to just give children who are suffering, or anybody who's suffering, even a little tiny escape. It's a very empowering feeling. It's like it actually, what I do is inconsequential, but that little thing makes a difference, and that to me is the coolest aspect of being a part of something like Frozen.
It's amazing.
Lovely.
It's really cool.
So that was Josh Gad. Pixels is out later in August. Check it out if you think it might be the type of thing you're interested in, or not.
Or not.
Visual effects. If you're into visual effects, I'd recommend it. It looks really awesome.
And if you're into Adam Sandler, see a doctor.
There you go. So a little bit of feedback then. What we got?
So this is from Barinda Samra.
Cool.
And they say, is Metal Gear truly next generation, as it is also coming out on PS3? Doesn't it feel more like a PS3 HD upgrade on PS4? Good contribution there from Gav Murphy. That'd be that's a shoulder shrug.
I just don't care. Like, I don't
Are
care.
you a Metal Gear fan? Are either
I'm
of
a
you
huge
Metal Gear?
Metal
I
Gear
am,
fan,
but
but
I'm
I
not a
just-
graphics fan.
No,
like,
I'm
it
not-
doesn't matter that
No.
much to me. Like, it's
I hate the term that hurt next gen. Like, people basically, I think. People
Next
who-
gen should refer to gameplay, not graphics.
People who think that they're into games latch on to these phrases they hear around the place, like next gen, frames per second, stuff like that. Like they
marketing.
They latch on to these phrases and they think that talking about this stuff actually makes you like a gamer. That's absolute bollocks. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, why are you talking like that? Why are you just play whatever games you want to play and have some fucking fun? Like, don't latch on to next. I don't think it's next. I don't think it's running at 60 frames per second.
Probably not an
Who gives
accurate
a shit?
representation of how this person speaks.
I think it definitely is.
But also, they say, in addition, do you think, why do you think there's been so many remasters this time around compared to the last generation? Is it because the last generation went on so long? I think a lot of it is because the last generation lasted for a long time, but also so many massive franchises were established that continue. There's a huge argument there that, if you want, like, I mean, they haven't done a Mass Effect one, but I think some people, the reason it's called Mass Effect Andromeda is because, you know, people want to jump into the story. If it was Mass Effect 4, they might be like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the reason the Uncharted trilogy is coming, the final chapter, you know.
As well, we're just in a bit of an era of remakes. Even like popular films, like people are. It feels like the big companies are now realizing
ideas,
like we can just do the same thing again.
All the ideas have happened.
People liked
we
it
have
before.
run out of the ideas.
That's what it feels like a lot of the times.
I don't think that's true, but I think it is. Maybe it's an easy. I don't know if it's an easy thing to do or not, but you know, companies have these games there, and they've just got to polish them up. And, like a lot of the time, it's not that company that's doing it either. So it's like an external party that's doing it. So, like maybe it's not an. And maybe it's like it makes financial sense for a lot of people to do. I don't know. I
mean, linking back to the first part of the question, this whole idea of, you know, next gen and stuff, as you say, if you think about it, you know, in terms of how we input, input games either on a PC, that's different, but on a controller, it's usually the same. The difference being, you know, the Wii tried something different, and that had huge success. For me, next gen would be something like if VR manages to take off, and it's different. It's input, it's not output. If that makes sense. You know, it's how you control it.
It's an interesting point.
Because I think lots of, you know, the input's been the same for however many years, so why wouldn't you? You don't have to remap controls or anything.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Thank you.
Well,
not sure if we specifically answered the question, but maybe we can answer it.
Right.
Here we go. From Daryl Sharp. Duck Hunt. I have played the first section of the Batgirl DLC on Arkham Knight, and so far I'm quite impressed. Do you think they'll be able to keep up this high level quality DLC and keep me interested and wanting to see the next bit? Will it come to pass like Mortal Kombat, where it's taken too long to release the characters and therefore lose my interest and what precious time that I have to play? Well, to be honest, Daryl, I don't know you that well, to be honest. So I don't know what it takes to keep your interest. I mean, I'd like to think...
He's a busy man.
Yeah.
He's a busy man, Gao.
To be honest, like you're into Mortal
9 to
Kombat.
5, wife and kids.
How dare you? Mortal Kombat is great.
So we wouldn't have much to talk about on that front. But I mean, I think they've committed to, you know, releasing quite a lot of downloadable content on Arkham for Arkham Knight.
What's your attitude with DLC? So, for example, I can say with all honesty now, I will not be playing the Witcher 3 expansions. Just because they're not coming out for like...
There's one I want to play that they told us about when we were there.
Are you allowed to talk about it?
I don't think we are.
Okay. Well, I know we know the names. I think of both of them, like Blood and Sand or something like that.
Okay. Well, maybe we are. I don't know. But I'll skirt around to them. But there's one that I definitely want to play because it's a really interesting sort of take on it. That isn't just like, oh, here's a bunch of other like side quests for Geralt to do. It's like
a new story.
It's a new story, but it relates to a character you've already met, like a very very small character that you meet really really early on, but his role in the Witcher world is way bigger than you would have ever... There's no way you'll be able to guess who this person is or what kind of effect they had on it.
I now retract what I said a moment ago, if it's that interesting. But the point being, you know, if it's... For me, it really does take something quite big once I've finished a game to go back and do DLC. I'm kind of like...
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you, to be honest. I was like, I looked at the Arkham Knight one and I was like, oh... They're in another amusement park, are they? Oh, that's really good.
How many? Yeah, you know what, Gotham? Stop building amusement parks. I don't think it's doing you any favours.
And as far as like, you know, play through the game as this character, no, I don't care. Yeah. But with something like Last of Us, when they release like that
well, that's it. It's like it's one of those things that's kind of changing now as DLC becomes more popular. It's like originally kind of started off as like new DLC coming out. You're gonna get new maps, new guns, and now I feel like companies
new
are
Rocket League
embracing
map
it.
soon.
Oh well, I'm buying that.
Yeah.
But now companies are a little bit more like seeing it as a way to prolong the game's life.
Yes.
Almost add more chapters on instead of just you know more like tiny little bits of more content.
Make a little more money.
Back in the day, like when we had expansion packs, I loved it. So like Black and White, I remember when Black and White Creature Isle came out. Got that, loved that.
Yeah.
Similarly, I like a lot of you know, the SimCity expansions and stuff like SimCity 4 expansions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They were great. But I don't know, like when they did what was it, Infamous First Light? Like, what was that about?
I don't think I need to spend any more money on Infamous than I already. I'm done with that.
Yeah, basically.
But, I mean, it depends on what you think. What's his name? Daryl. It depends on how long they need to take between it. But I think they're not going to just spunk it all out like really, really quickly. They want people to spread it out. Otherwise, Otherwise, there's the danger that if they start putting something out every week or something, then it'll be like, well, okay, that's another $5 I've got to spend.
Yeah.
People get a little bit sick of it, but I mean, I don't know. To be honest.
I'm also. It depends what else you've got on. Like, I mean, is there that much
got a
coming
lot
out?
on me.
Well, see, I'm imagining this
But is
is
there that
from
much coming-
Daryl from The Walking Dead, and if true, he does not have a lot of time to wait around for DLC.
Yeah.
So I'd move on, man.
Is stuff coming out on PlayStation in the near future? If there's necessarily not many other games coming.
Probably gonna be some games coming out for PlayStation.
All right, next
Don't you
question.
start with
So
me.
last week we talked about secret cinema and what would be our ideal secret cinemas if we were given the chance to plan one.
Yeah.
So Luke, you said that you had a suggestion for a perfect secret cinema.
Oh, I have some. Did you do this last? Do you have any?
It was
I was
me,
not.
Alex.
So what were some of the ones you
No,
mentioned?
I try not to answer questions that were asked the week before.
Listen, I don't have time. I'm a busy man. I don't have time to listen to the podcast
No,
every
go on,
week.
go on. What have you got?
Well, I kind of went a bit off-piste, really. I like Sunshine. Sunshine by Danny Boyle is one of my actual...
Would that make a good secret cinema though?
I've never been to Secret Cinemas, I don't know.
Why would you answer this question then? Why would you give me this email? You did
You're just
feedback.
listing films that you like.
Frozen. How about that? Boom. The Lion
God.
King. The Lion King.
You're as
Boom.
bad. You're as bad. They were taking the piss out of me last week.
What did you
for
say?
some of my suggestions.
Naruto 4.
The Pokemon movie. The Pokemon movie.
Actually, that would be amazing. Throwing balls at animals.
I don't think they've done. I don't think they've done a Disney film yet.
Well,
No.
The Lion King would be exquisite, and you could hire the people from the stage show.
Or you could just go see the stage show.
For Christ's sake.
Or just watch the movie. at
Oh,
home.
it means Jurassic Park. Like, just build it down.
I said Jurassic Park. That was one of my
like
suggestions.
Jaws would be pretty fun. You could do it like
What? Everyone's sitting on a boat.
Yeah.
There was that thing in China that I saw
Done.
that maybe they did. Yeah, that was done actually.
That'd be good.
What was that?
There was a weird story on the internet the other day that I probably should have written up to do with like I can't remember where it was, but everyone was watching Jaws on a screen and you're on a lake and
Oh, no.
you're all on inflatables and you just kind of dabble your feet in the
Ugh.
water.
I watched
Yeah.
Gravity on a boat once. That was a horrible mistake.
Why?
I watched Gravity on a
It
plane.
was on the it was in the in-flight cinema on the boat. So I was like, I'd never seen it before. so I
In-flight
watched it.
cinema on the boat.
On sea cinema.
in cruise. I don't
In
know.
cruise.
Where were you
What's
going?
the equivalent?
On water.
Oh, Ireland.
Ireland, yeah.
Oh, right,
yeah.
All right.
It was
Yeah.
awful because it's so much like creaking on the boat and like shaking.
How long does it take to get to Ireland? Surely you haven't got time to watch a film, have you?
It takes a while.
This was from Liverpool, so it was quite a
Of course.
quite
What
a
was I thinking?
sailing
What was I thinking?
upon the
Merseyside.
upon the SS Fun.
Next question.
Next question. Are we on me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so Andrew Anastasio asked, do we have any major plans for Podcast 300? He enjoyed 250 and was wondering if we had anything similar planned.
Yeah, loads.
So much.
Yes, I mean we were definitely going to plan. We're going to do something big. We're not quite sure what that is yet.
Yeah, stuff is up in the air, but we are aware that it is creeping ever closer.
9 weeks away.
9 weeks away, yeah. So
Really?
this is 291.
Too much time,
gosh.
if anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
gonna-
might actually correspond with my birthday, so maybe
When's your birthday?
24th of September.
No, it's October.
You're going to be 300 as well, which is cool. So
It's in October.
Well,
I think-
Roy's in his
I think
mid-twenties
we
now,
worked
so-
out it's like October
Shut up.
15th or something like that.
He also asked, is there a reason why there's only 3 people on each podcast and not 4? Used to be 4, but then we started doing a video version, and
we should do 4. I
Well, we
really
can't do it
No.
anymore because so it looks nice.
just have someone sit here with their
I don't-
back.
It's not just that. I think. I mean, it was one of the things that when I first started, I think 4 people on a podcast like
Bit
this
chaos.
is too much.
We did. There were quite a lot of occasions where
Yeah.
you would discover 2 conversations happening at the same time,
Exactly,
often
yeah.
across table. So it
that
has-
works. I mean,
So I
I've
put the
listened to
kibosh on that.
Yeah,
I've listened to
3.
podcasts before with like 5 people on it.
Yeah.
And it kind of works if you're into like the chaotic podcasts where like things get like loud and a bit
Your
crazy.
mind is basically Rainbow Road.
that is the best description
That's
I've ever
amazing.
heard.
Whereas
Thank you.
I don't think I could. I could.
That was a compliment, but I really do like that.
I don't think I could keep
I
think
up with
that's the
5
nicest
people.
thing.
Nor would I want to.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Especially the people we work with. Christ.
Actually, another question about podcasts. So this is from Martin, who says, it goes without, he says, Duckan, goes without saying I'm a big fan of the podcast, but that, of course, doesn't mean it's the only podcast I listen to. What? There are other podcasts. I don't have too many I follow at the moment, though, so some new tips are absolutely welcome. So my question to all of you there at the table, what's your favourite podcast, game-related or otherwise? I pretty much only listen to podcasts.
I only
That's
listen
all
to
I do.
music.
All right. Well, yeah.
So I don't
What are you
listen-
doing here?
I don't listen to other podcasts. is
Well,
basically the point.
I've got some recommendations here for you. Have you got any?
Yeah,
Chris?
I got some.
All right, well, I'll go first then, because mine will be better.
You might tick some off my list.
So we've got games ones. I listened to the BitSocket podcast. That's two lovely Scottish people talking about games, and they're very, very funny. If you don't, and they also make videos and stuff as well. So if you don't know who they are, you should definitely check them out because I really like them. Then there's also like. That's really funny. Then there's like Woodland Secrets, which I've just started listening to.
What?
Woodland Secrets, yeah.
Actually, like,
Is that badgers and wolves giving top
This
tips?
person Merit Coppass, and she like, it's just a really good exploration of like why we play games, like any kind of games, like, and just why it's in our nature to just have fun and things like that. And like the people she gets on there, just sometimes the people I have absolutely no idea who they are, but it's so interesting. And it
sounds really heavy.
It's not heavy. I've made it sound heavier than it is.
Okay.
Unnecessarily. I mean, it's heavier than
I'm not
this.
going to be weeping on the tubes in the morning.
It's heavier than this shit. I'll tell you that.
Naruto has some pretty deep story arcs. All right,
oh
that's what
my
I'm saying.
Christ.
Movie podcasts. I've been listening to this one called I Was There Too, which is one of my favorite podcasts at the moment. A friend of mine put me onto it, and it's basically stories about films told from the perspective of someone who had a bit part in that film. So sometimes it's like an extra, sometimes it's like just a character who just had a really, really small part. So if you like, and it's got one of the best first episodes of any podcast, which is There Will Be Blood, with Paul F. Tompkins, who's a comedian, who's in a really, really small scene with Daniel Day-Lewis.
Have you ever spoken to Andrew Goldfarb about?
No.
Because Andrew Goldfarb, who is our US news editor,
Yeah,
lovely,
yeah.
lovely boy. He's he does film extra stuff.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff.
That's cool. I didn't know that either.
And like, but most of it is like, and there's one with like Vasquez from Aliens, who's in like a bunch of other James Cameron films as well. And it's just interesting to hear all these stories about these giant films from the perspective of someone who just had a very, very small part in it.
Sat in the corner and cried.
Yeah.
A lot.
But there's a couple of really, really good episodes. Also, I'll say this is a final one then. Awesome podcast I've listened to at the moment is Kumail Nanjiani's X-Files Files. I had to write that down just so I didn't get his name wrong. But he's an actor who's in a bunch of stuff, and he's in Silicon Valley.
That's where I know him from.
Really, really, really funny dude. But he basically started a podcast with his friends, rewatching the X-Files from the beginning.
That's pretty cool.
So they pick out their favorite episodes, and like you should really watch the episodes. Find out what the episode is that they're going to talk about. Watch that, then listen to the podcast. And I've been doing it like recently, sort of like in between games of Rocket League. I listen to it while I'm playing Rocket League, basically. So I'll watch an episode of the
Are you
X-Files.
playing with me, I hope?
No.
Because I need everyone there.
I'll listen to an episode, I'll watch an episode of the X-Files, and play Rocket League and listen to an episode of this podcast.
It's the dream.
And it's just really, really good. And also, if you go back and listen to it, it was before it was announced that, because it started back in 2014, and it was before it was announced the X-Files is coming back.
Oh, awesome.
So it's interesting to go back and listen to it.
That's gotta be good for them.
Yeah, it's interesting. He's actually in one of the new episodes as well, which is really, really cool. So it's interesting to go back and listen to them going, especially in the first episode, actually, they talk about, it's the time to bring the X-Files back. Like, not another terrible movie, but, they should bring it back, and, how can they bring it back? And then, I haven't actually got to the point yet where they discover that the X-Files is going to come back.
Oh my God.
But it's a really
big day.
He's just got a really, really great voice, and he gets some really, really funny guests on as well. So yeah, those are the podcasts that I like.
Sweet. I've got mine up here to make it a little
you?
bit easier for me. I'll go through them quickly. Dude Soup.
Are you literally just going to go through your entire...
It's a short. I don't have like a million.
Dude
Soup, which is like a gaming podcast. It's by. They were previously at Machinima with Inside Gaming, but now they're actually part of Rooster Teeth, who's the Funhouse guys.
Yeah.
Gaming news, like that kind of stuff, similar kind of things, but it's awesome.
Is that like a busman's holiday for you?
What?
Well, like, do you know? Presumably, you like them as people. Like when I go home,
Is it just more white men sitting in a room talking about games?
Busman's holiday?
A busman's holiday is a phrase that you need to understand.
Go on, then.
It's just about when a busman goes on holiday on a bus.
Why would he go on a bus?
Well, that's the point. It's like, it's boring for him. He knows what buses are like.
Holiday.
Exactly.
Face Rocker podcast, which is great. It's by the production company Rocket Jump, who do YouTube videos with visual effects and things like that. But it's really awesome. They're actually working on shows with Hulu now.
Is that more white men talking about games in a room?
No, it is not.
Oh, hello.
They're talking about film and games, and they're from all racial backgrounds.
Yeah.
It's like a McDonald's ad. It's fantastic. Rooster Teeth podcast, great.
Okay.
Another internet group.
Didn't you just say that?
No. Dude Soup are now with Rooster Teeth. But they're two separate podcasts. One is gaming, and Rooster Teeth is like comedy.
Oh, of course. What was I thinking?
God.
And then finally, the If I Were You podcast, which is like, it's a comedy podcast, an advice podcast.
Yeah.
It's with Jake and Amir, who, if you know them, they
I
do
love
the
them,
series.
yeah.
They used to be on College Humor. They've been doing those
Yeah.
shows for like 7 years or something crazy like
Yeah.
that. Now they're kind of doing their own thing. One of those things is the If I Were You podcast. So they get people to email in questions if they're in like tough situations, and they just like give them advice. But they're so damn funny. Like they're two of my favorite comedians in the world. They're just
Yeah.
so hilarious, and some of the situations that they get posed in and the responses that they have is amazing. So for like a comedy podcast,
Maybe we should start asking for that. If you've got any, if you've got any, like,
if you're in a sticky
problems.
situation, any problems?
IGN_UK feedback at IGN.com, and we will
Yeah.
endeavour to help you.
We'll help you out. Maybe if you have some lady troubles, then we'll pass you over to Tilly.
Ooh.
Just because he's had a
Well,
lot of
because he's
experience.
available at a very cheap rate.
No, because he's had a lot of experience with ladies, and he'll see you right.
What if we did
What
like games problems? Like, I'm stuck in this level of something. Like,
No,
wasn't it like
not
Games
doing that.
Guru?
Well,
Did
we have a
that?
wiki. We do have an extensive
Almost like we have a
wiki.
really big site that deals with that.
I'm talking about one-to-one with the consumer. Business Rory is out now. It's
yeah,
gonna be
well,
making it a personal experience.
There's a reason business Rory.
I'm gonna give out my home phone number.
Business
079282. Stop there.
Yeah, please.
What
do.
have you got? Do you
I
listen to
don't-
podcasts?
I don't listen to podcasts. I listen to music.
Don't matter.
That's
What
it.
about the Regular Features podcast? Have you heard about this?
Oh
It's
my
pretty
Christ!
good,
So
man.
Gav's on another podcast which he really likes called Regular
Traitor.
Features. You should listen to it. Apparently, it's good. I
Luke
haven't.
listens to it.
I haven't listened. I haven't listened to
By virtue,
anything.
you've not listened to any podcast. You must listen to it. If you listen to it, it would be your favorite podcast.
Other than this one.
Okay,
I mean, this is the
And
best
to be honest, I don't really
podcast
like
ever.
this one. I'm just on this one.
How
So
dare
it would
you,
be your
sir?
favorite podcast then. So Regular Features, the Regular Features podcast is Luke Kamali's favorite podcast.
Well, I backed myself into that one.
It's our poster quote.
I was going to say, I've had a penny for every time I said that.
So the last piece of feedback is from Matt. And this is in regards to us talking quite a long time about KFC in last week's podcast.
Why? I didn't.
The idea got floated out by someone, and we started to think what it would be like if we had a little bowl of KFC just on the podcast.
mess.
I know, but oh my god, it would be so good.
Well, just popcorn chicken though, right?
Well,
Just a massive.
You're gonna have the
fat
popcorn.
Yeah, that's all right.
chicken.
I don't want to have to handle
Well, the
carcasses.
idea was that we'd do half of the podcast, and then right before reader feedback, we take a little break for Rocket League and KFC, and then we'd come back in. And then we open an invitation if anyone works at KFC, please get in contact. So Matt emailed in saying, "Hi, I work for KFC in Canada. I am a cook." So thank you, Matt, for writing in.
I'm pretty sure if he sent us some KFC, it wouldn't be edible by the time it got to us.
Is it
No.
edible at the best of times is the real question.
I thought you were going to say ethical, but you went straight for edible.
Well, as long as he doesn't work
No.
for a game
got no
company, we
problem
should
with
be
that.
all
I
right.
think I would. If it was a piece of popcorn chicken, I might give it a nibble.
I can't remember the last
From
time I had
Canada.
KFC. Do you have KFC a lot?
Yeah.
Serious?
Well, I have to go past one on my way home.
That doesn't
So
mean
it's
anything.
like, so I am obliged to go
Do you
inside.
go past every shop on the way home? That must take
Yeah,
you
you
ages.
don't. Yeah. Little McDonald's, little Burger King, little KFC.
There's-
I don't live in a food court, by the
like
way.
a shopping centre. Like, what?
Well, your thing is, you're like a fit, virile guy, whereas like
Thank you.
I'm a fat dude, so I have to watch stuff I eat. So I have to walk past like a dirty chicken shop on my way home from the pub, and it's literally everything in me not to go in there. But
Well, that's
I'm
it.
pretty good at
If-
it.
Can we
it-
never talk about Rory's virility again, by the way, please? Can we make that a deal?
So it's all the chicken grease.
Oh, stop! Oh, my God.
If I'm drinking, I'm way more susceptible to that kind of stuff. I'll just
Really?
be like,
I'm not allowed.
pop in, because you're like, oh, I've already had like
I've got
4
to be-
pints. That's
I've
like a
got to be
billion
healthy.
calories.
I'm not allowed to eat any of this.
What do you mean you're not allowed? You have a burrito every day.
Burritos are healthy.
No, they're not. Chipotle burritos.
They are.
They are not healthy.
Luke,
Other burritos
please.
are available.
Unbelievable.
They are healthy.
Well,
No.
I think that's pretty comprehensively answered all of those questions.
Hmm.
If you have any opinions on anything we've just said, including KFC or your favourite podcast, let us know.
UK feedback at IGN.com.
Yeah, nailed it.
And hopefully we will see and... Well, hang on. You will see and listen to us
Next week.
at Gamescom
in
Yes.
Germany.
next week.
So yes, it will be
week.
an
Look
interesting one.
forward to
And,
that.
and do spare a thought for Tilly, who will
Aw.
be here on his
Hello,
own.
darkness, my old friend. Just staring at the. It's gonna be so
So
exciting.
yeah, he might be. You
Someone
know,
tweet him.
Let's be
Yeah.
honest, Tilly's going to be in the pub all week.
I was
Yeah.
just gonna say, give him a tweet, make sure he's still conscious, and then we'll be back with you next week.
Thank you very much
Awesome.
for listening and watching.
Very
Bye.
good.
Bye-bye.
Bye.